Here we are with another frame starting with the RX7. So what we're doing is we're gonna take this out on the ice on Wednesday. Today is Monday. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna grab the 17s off this car and put them on my girlfriend's 2020 Civic. But she's got pretty good studded snow tires. I believe these are studded. But yeah, so we're gonna take these 16s, which are 5x114. We're gonna snag these off of this car and put them on the RX7. So hopefully, once we get the car out on the ice, because you can see these are just regular summer tires, which are barely any good in my driveway here when there's a little bit of slush, let alone when we've got a bunch of snow and when you're on ice. So I'm gonna jack these up, pull the tires and wheels off the RX7, get everything changed over, and then we'll have some clips coming up. I'm not sure if it's gonna be after this one or later, but we're definitely gonna have a GoPro and a helmet when we get out on the ice. So look forward to that. The wheel transfer is now done. The Civic now has RX7 wheels and the RX7 has the Civic wheels. This car is going to be getting summer tires in the spring, but we're actually going to be doing these wheels. These are 17s. I think we're going to put 18s on this with a taller aspect ratio tire. This thing is disgusting. So it'll look pretty good, I think. I'll have to maybe convince her to lower it a little bit just to fill out the wheel wells, but not the point of the video. The RX-7 is now on studded snows. Yesterday, I backed the car out of the garage and drained some of the water that was in the radiator and put antifreeze in it. So hopefully we don't have any issues with that. It should be pretty good. I noticed over here, it definitely looks like the alignment is a little different. This is super, super tight and flush. So hopefully it doesn't mess the fender up. I really should raise it, but I really don't want to. I may take the coilover top hat and just push the camber into the car and just take a picture of where it currently is, just to hopefully not bake in this fender. But if that happens, if I don't move the top hat and it messes that fender up, it's really not the end of the world. I'll probably still live. But I just wanted to add another clip now that this is all transferred over, and hopefully we'll be out on the ice right now. So there's our entrance, and here's my car. Waiting on the buddy to show up. He's got an ice auger where he'll check the depth and get out on the ice. here we are, back home. Got the car in the garage. It's drying off, as well as the truck. Yeah, car was really good. I had an issue with the thermostat housing on this, where we had to make a new one because the other one kept leaking. And the new one ended up having a pinhole in it, and I welded that up, and it was just kind of a nightmare. It was technically still leaking, even all of today while I was driving it, but it was seeping. It wasn't really a leak. So I ran out of time. I figured I would just drive it as it is, and it didn't have any issues. So water temps were great all day. When I built this motor and put it in the car, it went to the track and had wicked overheating issues. And I later figured out that was because of the vacuum advance not being hooked up, was not letting the car run a really high ignition timing at idle, so it couldn't cool off. It was just getting really hot. But vacuum advance is hooked up now. Car was running great all day. But we had a little issue with the shifter. There is a mechanical stop on these Hurst shifters for the Muncie 4-speed. And I believe that it's just basically a bolt. I believe the bolt backed out or worked its way in. I can't remember specifically what order it works in, but I don't have any forward pattern gears. So I don't have reverse, first, or third. I only had second and fourth. So it was getting worse progressively as the day was going on, but it lasted about 2 hours before it started getting worse. And then after the hour, after the 2 hours, it basically got to the point where it was only second and fourth. Wasn't a big deal, but I gotta definitely fix that. That's not the first time this has happened, so I don't know why that's happening all of a sudden, but we're gonna definitely get that squared away. Something else I wanted to touch note on, you may have seen in a lot of the clips, was that the E46, which is my buddy Dustin, he was following in most of the clips. And the reason for him following was my studded tires weren't quite up to par with his. So, you can see here is a stud, and it's not really sticking out. So, it is a little bit, it's definitely better than no studs at all. But his were, really nice. So he had a lot of forward bite, and I didn't. So him driving in front of me, I couldn't keep up with him. He would basically just drive away from me. So with me driving in the front, he could slow himself down when he needed to. And that was our first time driving with other people. So it was definitely cool to experience that. When I unloaded the car from the trailer, I just threw the straps here just to keep them on the car while I was backing it out, because I don't want to lay in that puddle of water and dirt. So I'll probably put it on the lift sometime and then take those off. And I guess really the only bad thing besides the shifter issue was this fender. It just come unbolted on the bottom there. Like I've said in my last video, these rocker panels they're not really rocker panels, they're just painted tape. So the metal that's behind this is really bad. It's from my experience, a typical Mazda thing. The RX7 does it. I had a Mazda Miata, it was the same way. So I just haven't done anything to this. It was just literally self-tapped up into some metal that was all-right-ish, but it looks like now it's time to make some straps or something for that. And I did actually end up raising the car. I did not mention that before we went on the ice. So this I did not touch, but you can see the front is definitely higher. I wasn't going to lift it because I didn't really want to. I was kind of lazy. But The more I thought about it, the more it made sense to lift it. I've never been to the pond we were at today, so it just made more sense because I didn't know the conditions in which you have to get onto the lake. There was no boat launch, so you had to actually drive it down a banking and to get on the ice. So this worked out. This ride height was fine, and the car still felt really good and stable. And the wipers too, which I also installed like last week or whatever and wired up, were pretty helpful. I didn't have to use them a ton because I was the lead car, but when I did do some chases, it was super nice to have the wipers. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.